Welcome to Artistic Shifts, presented by the National Guild for Community Arts Education. We hope that you'll join us on this transformative journey as we explore real change sweeping the nation fueled by community arts education. I'm Quanice Floyd, the Guild's Executive Director, and I'll be your host, spotlighting how the intersection of arts education and community engagement is not only enriching lives, but also paving the way for a more inclusive, interconnected, and liberated society. Welcome to another episode of Artistic Shifts podcast hosted by the National Guild for Community Arts Education. With us, we have Duffie Adelson, an amazing, phenomenal advocate for community arts education. So I'm going to read Duffie's bio and then I will introduce you to the listeners. And so the Guild trustee Duffie Adelson is a esteemed figure in the world of community arts education, renowned for her unwavering dedication and remarkable impact. As the namesake of our prestigious Duffie Adelson Award, she has been a beacon of inspiration, honoring individuals who have dedicated a minimum of 20 years to this vital field. Duffie's journey is a testament to her passion and commitment, serving as president of the nationally acclaimed Merit School of Music until 2015. She played a pivotal role in its growth and success. From her early days as an instructor in 1982 to her appointment as executive director in 1993, Duffie's leadership transformed Merit, expanding its student population, enriching instructional offerings, and spearheading a groundbreaking capital campaign that raised nearly $20 million. Beyond her role at Merit, Duffie's influence extends far and wide. She serves as a trustee on the National Guild for Community Arts Education's board and holds a life trustee position at Merit School of Music. Additionally, she serves as the school board chair for the ChiArts High School and sits on the boards of the Chicago Philharmonic and the Pilgrim Chamber Players. Her advisory role as the member of the Community Committee for WFMT Radio further underscores her dedication to the arts and education. Duffie's legacy is one of tireless advocacy, profound impact, and unwavering dedication to the transformative power of the arts in our communities. So welcome, Duffie. I'm so glad to have you here.
Well, first of all, thank you for that very generous introduction. And all of those accolades would apply in spades to you, Quanice. So I'm very honored to be here talking to you today. Thank you.
Yes. And so, Duffie, for this conversation, we're going to talk a little bit about your journey and how you became an advocate and dedicated to community arts education. And then we're gonna end with kind of what your hopes and dreams are for the field. So the first question that I have is, how did your journey into community arts education begin, and what inspired you to dedicate your career to this field?
Well, actually, my journey began at home. My parents loved the arts, although neither had any formal training. But like many others, I got my start in instrumental music in my grade school band. And I became very involved and fell in love with music. And I soon recognized the life-changing power music had in my own life, and I wanted to open that door for as many others as possible, which led me to dedicate my career to this field.
Awesome. That's beautiful that it started at home, and so it just kind of expanded over into school and your own life. So that I really love that. And so, can you share a pivotal moment or experience that solidified your commitment to community arts education?
Well, I grew up in the Chicago area, and I was a young teacher teaching around Boston in about 1979 when my mother sent me a clipping from the Chicago Tribune. It was an article about the founding of a new organization in Chicago called the Merit Program, now known as Merit School of Music. From this newspaper article, I learned about Merit's mission to provide free instruction for students, including especially students whose families may not have been able to afford musical training for their children. I realized immediately, I remember the moment, I recognized immediately that I wanted to teach at Merit because its mission addressed two of my deeply held personal goals. First, to provide access to music education to as many students as possible because the world of music had so transformed me. And second, to bring together like-minded students from diverse backgrounds who might otherwise never meet one another in order to give young people a chance to discover how diversity enriches each of us and how it can enrich our society. This was a very exciting moment of discovery that I'll never forget. And it led me to a pathway to reach out to the founders of Merit and ask for an interview. And they interviewed me, and I moved back to Chicago to start teaching at Merit.
That's awesome. And I love how music and music education has kind of kept you grounded throughout your trajectory, and you saw that opportunity at Merit. And so throughout your tenure at Merit and beyond, what achievements are you most proud of in terms of advancing arts education within communities?
Well, first of all, I'm very proud that Merit School of Music was able, and still, of course, is able to level the playing field for so many motivated youth, and which, as I said, continues to this day. And that's under the amazing leadership of Merit's current president and executive director, Charlie Grody. As Merit's founders said from the beginning, talent is equally distributed, but opportunity is not. And Merit has been able to offer a blueprint for interested and motivated students, helping them develop their interests into skills which allow their creative voices to be heard and appreciated. I am very proud of this, not only for the agency it develops in students, but also because when we help develop an artistic voice, we endow the world with a priceless gift. However, no one organization can truly meet the needs of an individual student. And I am also proud that so many of us in the community arts education field understand that it takes a village to raise a child. So by partnering with many other organizations beyond our doors at Merit, we were able to expand opportunities for our students and expand their networks and their worlds. In fact, many Merit alumni have come back to talk with me about how Merit served as a bridge for them to other essential opportunities and resources. So I think it's about having a collaborative mindset and embracing the power of working together with others in the field on behalf of our students. I'm also proud of the power we have realized through the ripple effect. I know that the magic of the Merit experience goes beyond the student to affect whole families and even communities. Truly, the return on investment in community arts education is enormous. Finally, I am proud to have created the kind of community within our walls that we wish existed in the world at large. Experiencing this kind of community, our students continue to go out into the world as more enlightened and compassionate citizens, the kind of citizens our society so desperately needs.
I love that. I love everything about that. And so just for the listeners, so the National Guild had a community that we were holding throughout our strategic planning process. And one of the cities that we chose to have community space in was Chicago. And Duffie and the amazing folks at the Merit School of Music hosted us at their beautiful facility. And we were walking through the hallway, and we see a picture of Duffie and Oprah. Right, and so Duffie was featured on the Oprah show for the amazing work that she was doing with Merit, and it just talks about, and Duffie, when you're talking, I hear a lot about the dedication, collaboration, and community, but really you are the heartbeat of that, right? And so that's why you are on Oprah, because you are that through line of connecting communities and connecting students to music, right, through the Merit School of Music. And so I just want to also make sure that we give you, your flowers, because of the amazing dedication that you've had for not only Merit School of Music, but community arts education on a national level. All of the work that you've been doing with the guilds, and that's why we chose to name the award after you, because you have dedicated your blood, sweat, and tears, and you really are a walking spokesperson for the power of community arts education. And so I just wanted to include that in it, because I feel like that you are an achievement within yourself, right? Not
You're too generous. And let me just say to all of that, thank you very much. However, I just view it as such a tremendous privilege to have had the opportunity and continue in various ways, even today as a volunteer on many boards. But all those 33 years at the Merit School of Music, that was a privilege. And I think it's a privilege for any of us as leaders to have the opportunity to do what you're talking about, to use our passion to affect powerful change in the world and to have an opportunity to uplift our students and everybody in our community in so doing. It was just a tremendous privilege.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, and you're balancing it very well because, you know, Merit is very kind of like Chicago based, you know, Chicagoland area based organization on the ground, giving direct services to, you know, the community. So you do amazing, you have been doing amazing work with Merit, you know, over the past 3 decades plus. And so, you know, that gives you a really beautiful view of the work on a direct service level, right? Like Merit School is based in Chicagoland. It's really focused on the Chicago community. And so now that you know, you've been on the Guild's board for quite a while as a trustee, you know, you have this kind of multiple layered lens to things that are happening on the local level, but then also things that are happening in the national level. And so, in your role at the National Guild as a trustee, what do you think our institution or other institutions like the Guild play when it comes to driving forward positive artistic shifts within society?
Well, let me just first start by saying that I was so fortunate to become aware of the Guild almost as soon as I set foot in the Merit School of Music in 1983. And I began to see almost immediately the impact the Guild had on Merit, helping us to grow as a school and helping us to better meet our mission in more powerful ways to reach more students and all of it. And I realized then and there that it wasn't just Merit that the Guild was helping, but all these hundreds of organizations and entities across the country, and which made it very exciting when I had an opportunity to join the board of the Guild, and still today. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But in general, on the community level, I believe that community arts organizations have tremendous power to drive artistic shifts and also social shifts in our society. And I want to mention some of the reasons I think this is true. First, and very importantly, community arts organizations have an opportunity to level the playing field so that historically marginalized voices can emerge, can flower, and can lead. And as this happens, people from diverse backgrounds who may never have had an opportunity to meet one another are able to engage in the intimate act of making music or making art together. Those whose voices have historically been marginalized, along with others, have opportunities to make this art together, which is transformational for everyone. Also, community arts education organizations have a unique power to enact societal change by attracting students and their families on the basis of an interest. A student comes through our doors because they want to play the trumpet, for instance, or they want to learn how to draw or to dance. So they arrive with open minds, eager to learn. They are often unaware until much later of all the other ways beyond the arts that they are growing, the skills that they are acquiring that will help them in their academic studies and with many of their life goals. Another superpower of a community arts education program is something that is transformational but doesn't cost an extra dime, and that is its peer group. Even we adults are influenced by our peers, but this is especially true for young people. I used to tell parents that they could never find a stronger, more positive, more supportive peer group for their child than at a community arts organization. When a student walks through our doors, they immediately find a group of like-minded peers who share a love of the arts. This like-minded peer group provides incredible support and motivation to each other, including encouragement to stay on track and not give up, which is so essential in achieving anything in life, because perseverance, as we all know, is even more important than God-given talent. This peer support also provides the gift of courage, courage to be true to oneself and to one's inner voice, and the courage to believe that one's life goals are possible to achieve, which leads me to another superpower community arts education organizations have, and that is the unique power to provide a detailed roadmap and pathway for students so that they can achieve their goals. As I said before, talent is equally distributed on every block, in every neighborhood, in every town, and every city, but opportunity is often lacking. Community arts education organizations provide exposure and inspiration, and once someone raises their hand and says, yes, I want to play that instrument, or I want to create a painting like that, or be an actor in a play, once the interest is there, a pathway must be offered. a pathway that can lead a student from the first note to a chair in the symphony orchestra, allowing a student to go as far as their drive and God-given talent will allow. Whether or not the students pursue the arts professionally, they will be changed in fundamental ways and become what Yo-Yo Ma calls a citizen musician or a citizen artist, approaching life with a different, more compassionate and empathetic lens, and perhaps with more determination to make the world a better place. The National Guild for Community Arts Education has an incredible opportunity, I believe, to support this transformational arts education ecosystem through advocacy, direct support for the field, and by bringing together individuals from community arts education efforts across the nation to learn from one another and to support each other.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Duffie. Um, and so I think the final question that we have is, looking towards the future, what is the artistic shift that you personally aspire to see in the world? And how do you envision that impacting communities and individuals? And I know you talked a little bit about it through the previous question, where you talked about making sure that, there are no barriers to entry when it comes to arts and arts education for our next generation and for folks in the communities. But I would love to hear a little bit more about what you personally aspire to see happen, change in the world.
Sure. Well, on the one hand, let me say that I am encouraged by today's heightened interest expressed by so many people to include diverse genres, diverse thinking, and inclusion of people of diverse backgrounds in art making and in societal decision making more broadly, and the recognition that we are all enriched when diverse voices are embraced, encouraged, applauded, and supported. However, there is also much pushback today on the part of some to erase gains we have made and to homogenize our society. And I believe our community arts education ecosystem can not only continue to champion the beauty of bringing diverse voices together, but that we can take an even more of a leading role in promoting the incredible benefits and the urgency, really, of supporting and applauding historically marginalized voices in the arts. The arts have long played a leading role in moving society in positive directions. And at this pivotal juncture, I am particularly excited to see the National Guild, under your leadership, Quanice, take a leading role in bringing the field together to elevate our society through community arts education.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And so it's been a real honor to be working with you, Duffie, because you have such a vast depthness of your work within community arts education, and your work has made waves, right? You've created change for so many generations of students who came behind you because you understood in your own personal life why this work is important. And so I just again want to thank you and give you your flowers and being on the show today. And so I want to also thank the listeners for listening for this week's episode. Thank you all for listening to Artistic Shifts. And for more information about the National Guild for Community Arts Education, please check out our website at nationalguild.org. And so thank you again, Duffie.
Listen, thank you again, Quanice, for this. This has been a wonderful opportunity, and I've enjoyed every minute. And for those who may be interested in learning more about two of the boards I serve on, who've been longtime members of the National Guild and leaders, I think, in the community arts education ecosystem. One is Merit School of Music, and you can find out more information about Merit at meritmusic.org. And the other is the Chicago High School for the Arts, where I serve currently as school board chair, which you can find out about through ChiArts, ChiArts.org. Both changing the lives of many wonderfully talented young artists and musicians. Thank you again.